Learner's permit.
Learner's permit.
Learner's permit. Learner's permit. Learner's permit. Learner's permit.
Guys, I'm sorry I'm late. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Hey guys, it's me. I'm back. It's here. Welcome to the Learner's Permit Podcast, a show where four friends lock themselves in a room and forcefully educate each other on the subjects they're most passionate about. Each week, one host selects a subject to educate the other three about in hopes of broadening their woefully narrow horizons. Guys, I'm so sorry that I'm late. I just got back from Connecticut. Can you just take over for half a second? Just introduce yourselves. I just need to catch my breath. Hold on 1 minute.
Wow. I guess I appreciate the apology, Kody, but this is not really out of the ordinary for you. You always have some scheme or some reason why you're super late all the time, even though it's your own fucking house. But now we've moved to remote records. I guess you feel more free to just not show up. Anyway, I'm Liam. I have a bad attitude as always.
I'm Austin, and I'm sick, and I'm also mad, Kody.
Yeah, why are you mad?
I'm mad because you're late.
I'm sorry.
Even though I'm usually the most late, but I'm being hypocritical.
I got caught in traffic. I had a headwind. It was really windy today. It really slowed me down on the highway. My car is not aerodynamic at all. It's just really weighed me down.
Talking about
honestly.
those Connecticut headwinds. Yeah, I've heard of those.
Yeah, no, yeah, Connecticut. Ugh. Well, I got a lot to say.
Is that why you have 3 caramel macchiatos from Starbucks right there in the frame of your camera?
No, it's November. It's pumpkin.
Is headwind what you call when you stop at every cafe along the way?
No.
Back home?
No.
Okay, yeah.
No. How's everyone's week going?
Headwind is the name of a beautiful hitchhiker that you picked up.
He was showing
you guys
his
had
leg.
a connection unlike any other. Oh, he showed you his leg. What was on the leg? Special tattoo that no one else has ever seen? Is that what you're saying?
It was a tattoo of a hitchhiker and his thumb out.
That's wonderfully meta.
Yeah, isn't it? That's crazy. He knew what he wanted to be.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that in preparation for later in life, him becoming a hitchhiker? Or was he just accepting his fate, and then he spent all the remainder of his money at a tattoo parlor getting a hobo tattoo?
Yeah, he knew that he was going to do this, so he planned ahead and planned accordingly. I respect him. I respect for that. I applaud. I give him claps.
Well,
and where's Headwind now, Kody?
He's somewhere in the middle of Massachusetts. I dropped him off in some town, probably Springfield or some shit. I don't know. Every state has a Springfield.
That's true. There's a Springfield, Virginia.
And there's a Simpson in every single one.
They're
right.
probably not wrong, yeah.
That's probably pretty accurate.
Well,
yeah, I know. Which one do you guys think is the one that The Simpsons is actually based on? Because I want to find out if there is a Millhouse. I want to find out where he is and freaking beat him up.
I thought it was Illinois.
I always hated that nerd. Is there a Springfield, Illinois? Oh yeah, there is a Springfield, Illinois. I don't. It's okay. I failed geography.
Oh, that sucks.
I don't even know if I took geography, but I would have failed it if I took it. Let me tell you.
You must have taken it in 6th grade.
That's what you think. That's what you think. I was in a special program though that didn't involve any kind of mapping or really big words or other cultures. I was very xenophobic as a child.
I was gonna say that you're topographically challenged, so they bent the curriculum so you didn't have to look at maps.
I know the Earth is a big circle.
Yep.
Now, if you asked me to point out any particular blob on that circle and tell you what it was, I couldn't do that.
Notice how he said circle, not sphere.
Ooh,
so
fuck.
He could still be a flat earther.
Uh-oh.
I just like to leave my options open. That's all right?
Liam, you could point out Australia, couldn't you?
I could point out Australia. Thank you for mentioning that, Kody. But the reason I can point out Australia is because Australia is the land of kings, the land of the chosen people. Australia is where the most bereft populace in the world was exiled, was forced, cast out from the most godforsaken land in the world, and they found a new bounty in a new land. And I think that Australia, everyone who lives in Australia, you're God's people. I just want you to know that. And interestingly enough, I happened to be looking at our demographics the other day. I noticed that we actually have a listener in Australia, which is great news for us. This is what we've been wanting this whole time. The reason that we've been recording this whole show is just to get people in Australia to listen to us.
Yes. Like straight
That's
up.
really it.
We know you're passionate people down there.
We've said it in the past.
We
We've said
have.
it in the past, and I meant it every time I've said it. I think Australia exports the finest culture, the funniest shows, the best art.
Yep.
I mean, geez, you got that Sydney Opera House. Look at that thing. I mean, I've never seen a building like it.
Okay, but the listener was from Western Australia, so we don't want to upset them too much by talking about Eastern Australia.
No, they're not.
Well, this is where your geographical instincts kick in, Austin. What's a good thing about Western Australia? I don't know much.
Well, no, hold on.
it's-
They're from Southern Australia, our listener B.
Yeah, but you understand, like
Our
they're from-
listener B.
Ah,
From Southern Australia, our listener B. And if they can solve our riddles 3, we shall give them a shout out for all to see.
I don't want to dox them because there's all of like 6 places that you can like exist in Australia and not be killed by the environment. So, but yeah, they exist on the West Coast, Kody. So, like,
Can you really dox them, though? Because all the cities down there are all really silly sounding. Places like Coxbyville or like Bunglebinch. You know what I mean? Like I was trying to read the town names in Australia, and I was getting a real kick out of it.
Noitzland.
those were not real though.
That's a real one.
Yeah, they were.
What?
Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong, Austin.
No, I mean, I'm
Cocklebiddy.
just surprised, I guess. Cocklebiddy?
Real one.
All right, well, I guess I don't even know what to say that. I was going to try to say something. First of all, I was Googling a word that you used because I didn't know what it meant. But
What was the word?
bereft. I hadn't heard that before.
Oh, come on.
But anyway, I was going to say something clever about it sounding like Grand Theft Auto cities, but then I realized those cities don't sound like anything I've ever heard before. So I don't know
Liberty
if it
City?
can even
Grand
be in
Theft
that
Auto
realm.
cities don't? Grand Theft Auto cities
No,
don't? 'Cause they're
Aus-
usually named after real cities in America, so I'd be surprised.
No, well, they just change them in ways that are recognizable. Whereas, like those Australian names you were saying, I didn't recognize at all. Like, there's not even a comparable likeness to them.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Australian exports the best actors too. You know, I mean, Mel Gibson, everybody loves him. Nothing wrong with a little Mel.
Actually, I'm mad.
I don't pay much attention to the news. I just know that he won some Oscars. So if he's out of fashion, let me know.
Western Australia recently pissed me off. So they used to have a beer called Emu Export, and I had the pleasure of trying it. And it's basically just a Coors Light, but I just liked the fact that it had an emu on there, and I liked it a lot, and so I would get it. They changed it to Quokka Export for some reason. Now it has a
That's fucked
Quokka
up.
on it. Actually, I can go grab a can for you guys. I can show you. But yeah, now it's Quokka Export. I'm pissed. I like the emu on
You
there.
like emus more than quokkas?
Yeah, I do actually.
That's an interesting preference.
What do
Any
you
particular
mean?
reason why?
They won a war against the Australian government.
It's true.
That
Dawson's
Okay,
100%
first of
right.
all, you're rooting for Australia's #1 enemy. You're complaining about Western Australia. You're going to alienate this one listener we have.
Well-
We've got a foothold, Austin. You can't do things like this.
I'm not complaining, and I'm not condemning Australia. I just think it's funny. That's like the one thing that I learned as a teenager about Australia that I could bring to the table that people didn't already know. So I thought it was interesting. But yeah, I like the Emu Wars. It's a very interesting time in their history.
Every time we get a pleasant vibe going on the show, Austin, you got to come in with your politics.
Speaking of pleasant vibes, how was your week, Liam? How's it been?
It was great. And speaking of politics, we've recently had an election. And I think, I just think we got to address it a little bit because I know our listeners really want to know our opinions. So I'm going to give you the official learner's permit stance on what happened this past week here in the United States. And this is endorsed by everyone on this podcast. So
What?
we're all in agreement on this. We had a long discussion about it. Austin, I know you especially were a big champion of this, but there's a certain logic to what happened this past week. I know a lot of people are feeling pretty sad, pretty surprised by the results of the election here in the United States. But I think anyone who was really paying attention to the trends isn't surprised. And regardless of how you feel about the result, there's one truth, it's that with a combination of sort of the Chinese economic takeover and the consequences of Bidenomics, one truth really led to the fallout at the polls this past week.
Oh.
And I think, yes, Kody?
Was it Adam's attempts?
No, it has nothing to do with Adam. I mean, Adam is someone he's a force of nature, of course, but he comes in after the fact. No, the reality is that Donald Trump won the election because of a fallout with our economy. He spoke to something, and that something is the fact that nowadays, women really do not be shopping.
I'm so confused.
I mean, Austin, I think you know, when Donald Trump says "Make America Great Again," he's hearkening back to a time when women be shopping.
What is happening? I have no idea what you're saying.
So stupid.
Well, women used to be shopping.
What?
But women do not be shopping
Is this
anymore.
some like deep state Redditor shit? Like I don't understand what is happening.
No.
Well, first of all, I am offended that you would even insinuate that I am a Redditor or part of the deep state. No, Austin, it's a fundamental truth. I mean, we used to say it all the time. It just was a fact of life is that women be shopping. But it hasn't happened. Commerce has moved online.
Yeah.
China has made cheaper alternatives to everything the United States offers,
100%, yeah.
Women just don't be shopping anymore.
Full of microplastics.
We agreed on this before this started, so that's why I'm confused that
Yeah.
you're having any kind of like.
Oh yeah. I honestly have no idea what's going on. I don't know what's being said.
Well, I just felt like we had to address it, and we can move on now. I just
Yeah.
wanted to address the election.
Yeah, no,
in
totally.
a fundamental way.
And I respect you coming forward and being the one that really says it for us, Liam. I really,
of course.
I have a lot of other things on my mind that I want to get out, but like you coming forward and being the one that really spoke about this topic, thank you. I appreciate it.
Look, I'm not afraid to be a truth teller. That's all great artists are.
Well, you have to because you have the ticket.
Well, yes. I mean, I do have that protection. I do
Yeah.
have that protection. If I were to lie, I would lose that ticket probably. I mean, I don't know how it works, but yeah, I will be going to heaven.
By the way, it's still at my house.
Yeah, I know. Don't do it.
Wait, you left it at his house.
Yeah, he
Because
left
I
it
trust Kody implicitly.
here. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, it's fine.
Look,
I'm
I won't get
damned to go
specific
to
about it. I just want you
purgatory.
guys to know that we're all going to heaven together.
You die in a car accident. You're fucking like pulling me up with you. You're like, I'm taking it with me.
I'm almost certain. I could be wrong. I think it said admit one on there, but
We are one.
You never heard of a fucking Xerox, Austin? Where you can't fucking photocopy something? Come on. What's a little forgery between friends? That's all I'm saying. St. Peter's never going to know the difference.
What if he becomes the saint of forgery by that time? He might change
Well, there's definitely
seats.
not a saint of forgery. I don't know much about God stuff, but there ain't no saint of
I
forgery.
don't know much about God stuff.
All right. I have a lot to get off my chest.
All right, let's get to the week's topic.
Like I said, I just got back from Connecticut. I was finally able to muster up the courage to ask the studio manager, to go out. So she happened to be like going to Connecticut for the weekend for an event, and she, offered for me to stay.
So she didn't exactly say yes. It sounds
No,
like
she
it
did.
sounds like
No,
you
no,
might
no.
have stashed away in the car while she was going there.
She let me come along. She let me stay at the Airbnb, separate beds, and like we went to the event.
Same room,
and-
same room.
same room, different beds.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like we went to the event, and the event was fantastic. We'll talk about that later. Not today, some other time. But like through staying in Connecticut over that wonderful weekend, it was the weekend itself was great, but it was surrounded by a lot of negative things, mostly coming out of the state of Connecticut. I don't know when the last time you guys went to Connecticut was, or have you ever been to Connecticut?
It's been like 7 years, I think.
Did you like it?
I've been there, but Connecticut's one of those sundown states for me. I just know not to be there past dark.
That's probably a good point.
I only really passed through it. I don't think I spent any serious time there. So
Yeah, no one should fucking live there. That place sucks. That place is a literal hellhole. I don't know how anybody fucking lives there. This
oh my god,
has been a topic in the back of my mind since I left that goddamn state. I'm so happy I'm fucking out of that place. There are roads that were newly paved that were worse than the roads that hadn't been paved. They are so bumpy and terrible and dog shit. The drivers don't know how to fucking drive. The beer sucks. The food's only fucking mid. You can't do anything fucking past 9:30. That place eats dick. I fucking hate the state of Connecticut. It should be removed as a New England state. Every other New England state's fantastic. Connecticut can eat my ass.
Is your subject for the week the competition for the shittiest state in the United States?
No.
But do you really think that's? Do you really think
No,
that's
this has been occupying my mind space since I left.
What
I
happened
can't-
exactly? Outside of the shitty roads, outside of the lack of good food or beer, what happened while you were in Connecticut to make you feel so strongly? Because you don't often get so worked up like this.
The studio manager and I had a fantastic time. Her and I got along great. We had a phenomenal time. But it was brought down by the atmosphere of this shitty fucking town.
What was the town? Do you mind saying what town you guys stayed in?
Yeah, we went to oh no. Oh no. It's in my mind, but it's not there. I'll get back to you on that. Well, we stayed there and like we got breakfast in the morning. It was okay. The breakfast is okay. Like I got
What'd you have for breakfast?
I thought my breakfast was the best meal that I had the whole weekend. I had a kielbasa.
Was it hotel breakfast?
No, it was we stayed at an Airbnb, which was they were like
Oh.
it's a wood retreat. A wood retreat is literally like right off of a fucking main highway.
There's a shed in their backyard on a highway.
It was like it fucking stupid. Dumb. So dumb. Anyway, I had a kielbasa, egg and cheese on like a bulky roll. Delicious. I thought it was great. I ate it in like 20 seconds. It was amazing. Coffee, okay. Then we went to this brewery. Terrible. Beer sucked. Service was weird.
What was the name of the brewery? Why do you name drop them?
It's the town name brewery. And I don't remember
You
the
can't
fucking
remember
name.
the name of the town. Well, then you definitely need to remember the name of the town, buddy. I gotta know.
Yeah, no,
Gotta hold him to account, Kody. You know, this is like a Yelp review, only more powerful.
yeah, so like also all of the fucking service people who work in this area are fucking sociopaths. They're like,
What do you mean?
they're not okay in the head.
They said, "What would you like to drink, sir?" And you said, "Could I get a beer, please?" And they said, "Yeah, right."
Yeah,
It's
basically.
9:01. Get the fuck out of here.
Willimantic.
That doesn't even sound like a real town.
It's a real town.
Talk about those the real Australian towns that I name dropped. This sounds like one of those.
Yeah, the Australian towns sound more believable than that.
Yeah.
Willimantic.
Yeah, so we stayed there.
Hey, it was real Willimantic.
And then
I had a real Willimantic weekend with my girlfriend.
we stayed there, right? And there were like frog statues all over the place in this place. And we asked the bartender, like, what the fuck the deal is with all these frog statues? And he said, oh, well, when they redid the bridge, they had to set aside like X amount of money for a public works project. And they decided to put frogs everywhere because it has like cultural meaning to the town. And I was like, okay, but like how? Well, apparently during the French and Indian War, I believe, there was a settlement in that town and the tensions were really high. And they were saying that, you know, there was a drought and like all the frogs that would stay in that pond were vying for that little pond that would have started to shrivel up because of the drought. So they were all like bullfrogs and they're all starting to fight each other a little bit. Well, the tensions were so high between, you know, the colony and the Native Americans that the sound of all the frogs trying to vie for power in that pond sounded like the Native Americans coming to try and kill the settlers. So the settlers got up and started to like get all hunky-dory and like try to like edge into the Native American town. And then they just realized it's just a bunch of frogs fucking. So that town is just a fucking shitscape.
Yeah, I was gonna say that whole town origin story sounds like some stupid ass white people shit.
No, totally. So
how
that place
fucking
sucked.
stupid do you have to be to think that
A bunch of frogs fucking.
a bunch of frogs is like a raiding party
Uh-huh.
of any kind?
Yep.
Also, just speaks to the general attitude back then of like always feeling like you're under attack, even though you're the goddamn invader. Jesus Christ!
It's so. I'm like,
I
this,
wish.
this place sucked. Anyway, that's not what we're going to talk about today. Unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about for Connecticut.
Well, I'd like to. It just sounds like you went somewhere and the food was bad and the service sucked.
The service sucked. The food sucked.
It's kind of an
the
extreme
atmosphere.
stance to
The atmosphere
take.
sucked. Like I've been around. I've been around. It was supposed to be like a semi-relaxing weekend.
This sounds like a mediocre experience, but not like something that would set you off like this. There had to be some particular thing that really got stuck in your craw.
Connecticut
know
just sucks,
you.
dude. Connecticut just fucking sucks, dude.
So it's just a vibes thing?
It's a vibes thing. That place sucks. I really don't
Fair enough.
understand how.
I can't argue with that.
I don't understand how Connecticut is a New England state. I don't get it.
It's not.
It's
not a New England state.
I
don't know who considers it a New England
I'm
state. It's
with
not a
you.
New England state. That's like saying New York is a New England state.
New York is not a New England state. I'm with you on this, but I've been trying to find articles that say that Connecticut is not a New England state. I've been proven wrong every step of the way. I'm 100% in the boat of it should not be, and it should be removed permanently from the continental United States.
Just live your truth. You know, like we talked about last time we spoke, you know, Metal Gear Solid was really correct. Metal Gear Solid 3 in particular was very correct, right? Or did you say it was the second one where the Patriots said
Because of the
that
Patriots.
the internet would divide people and everyone would exist in their own little bubble of information that may or may not be true?
That was Metal Gear Solid 2.
Well, just live in your own little bubble, Cody.
Thank you, Liam.
Connecticut's not part of New England.
Just start a Reddit thread about it not being in New England, and people
sucks,
will
dude.
100% rally behind you.
You got Reddit on the brain today, Austin.
I
you
do.
a Redditor?
No.
Are you a Redditor?
So a lot
you go
of
on
the times,
Epic Reddit?
I will like try to find stuff, and then if I like click on a link and it sends me to Reddit, thankfully Reddit will be like, "You can't be here. You don't have an account." And I'm like, "Okay, thanks." I'm
Wait, is that
leaving."
because you're trying to look for those pictures of Lois Griffin that you guys were pulling up the other day?
Oh no, you just
Is that where you got those?
you just go to Google for that shit. You know, you just Google images and it filters through all of it. You don't have to worry
I'm
about
sure.
logging into
I'm
Reddit
sure.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, so Maine, fantastic. New Hampshire, great. Vermont, phenomenal. Massachusetts, it's got all the atmosphere. You got the big city. You got everything out west. You got fucking Six Flags. Rhode Island, I can't speak on it. Haven't been there.
I like
Forever.
Cody's like, you got the twisty streets of Boston and Six Flags. That's what Massachusetts.
Well, he also said you got everything out west. Just Western Massachusetts is just a general.
I haven't
You
been
know,
there.
we all love. Famously, everyone loves Western Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's the best. It's better than Connecticut.
Okay, all I'm gonna say is I've traveled across the country a couple times. All right, worst place I ever fucking drove is Massachusetts,
Yeah.
and that's never gonna change. I came home to you fuckers, and you were the worst drivers in the world. I want you to know that. I mean, I love you dearly. You're assholes. It's all you ever can be. You'll never change. But the truth
Connecticut
is
had
that
worse
no one
drivers.
in the world drives worse than you. I've even seen videos of all
Connecticut's
those
way worse.
China, like the drivers in China, where there's like no rules on the road and people just drive insane. You guys are worse.
Connecticut's
telling you.
way worse.
Cody,
I was
Or-
driving in the middle of the fucking day. The person behind me was on the other side of the road, driving straight. They have no fucking clue how to drive.
I thought you were about to say I was driving in the middle of the road.
that's also what I thought he was gonna say.
Connecticut's worse. I was driving like a fucking crazy guy. Nobody stopped me.
This place sucks.
All right, Cody, what's the topic for this week? What's the topic for this
I'm
week?
going to pitch something to you guys.
All right, pitch away.
I'm El Presidente. All right, it's me.
Wait, hold
I'm the
up, hold
president
up.
of the company.
Can you get us more in like a pitch mindset? Do you have like a slide deck or anything that you can pull up?
No,
Like set the scene for us. What are you the president of? What's the type of pitch? Are we talking like marketing executive pitch?
the president of the company,
What company?
our company,
Okay. What do we make?
media.
And who
Movies?
am I in the company?
You guys are all producers.
How much do I get paid to be a producer? Am I an executive producer or am
No,
I just
you
a
guys.
producer?
This is it. You guys are all just producers. The two of you. You make $45,000 a year.
$45,000 a year? Jesus Christ, Cody! I make more than that now.
No, Liam, roll with it. Like you roll the camera,
I just
roll with it.
okay, yeah, fine. I'm just not that hungry for show business.
right.
I need to be paid more.
You make $80,000 a year
know.
as a producer. How about that?
All right, I'll take it.
All
I'll
right.
take it.
You
Is
guys
that all it takes to double your salary? You just have to be mad, and then
now
Yes,
now
in show business, absolutely.
now as the president of the company, both of you are making $80,000. But
How did you get to be the president? Did you fucking suck your way to the top,
you know it.
or did you get there on merit?
Both.
Or are you like a nepo hire? I gotta know. You just gotta set the scene proper before we
I
get into
fucking
this.
sucked my way up and I proved my worth.
By fucking sucking your way up to the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a position open, boys, for an executive producer that makes double the money. All right? It's a competition. Picture this. You two are vying for this role, this position. You want a new Star Wars? You got it. You want a new Indiana Jones movie? You got it.
So you're the president of Disney?
I literally anything. You want to make a new superhero movie?
You just named 2 Disney properties. You're naming more Disney stuff.
You want to make a new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson? You're in. All right? You want to make another Twilight movie? You got it. You just need to get the position. All right?
Wait, so we're pitching a movie to get the position?
No, I'm interviewing you. You have to get the position. I'm going to give both of you the same interview question. It's going to be a competition between the two of you.
Okay, but I might interject if I have an objection to the interview question because I fear that your own personal biases are going to come into this hypothetical.
Nope.
But isn't that how interviews work?
Yes, but if Cody's a president, I'm also assuming that he's a different person with different tastes, and he should be judging our answers based on that perspective.
No, you're absolutely right.
But he
And I will
owns
be.
the company.
He's president of Disney in this scenario.
No, I'm not. No relation.
No relation. Actually, this company bought out Star Wars, DC, Marvel.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm a new company. Yen Sid. It's Disney backwards.
I don't think that's how you say. Yeah, I don't think that's how you say Disney backwards.
Yes, it is.
Square Enix has actually made so much money from Kingdom Hearts that he's able to buy all the properties.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely
He's
right.
the president of
Liam-
Square Enix.
Liam immediately understood.
Yeah, I do understand.
All right. Are you guys ready? Do you want this position?
I'm ready.
Liam, what would be the first sequel to a movie you would make? This is this is not an interview question. This is just a me question.
I fear that this treads on something that I'm working on, but also I
Then
will. I
don't,
will
then
say,
don't.
no. Can I say something and then we cut it from the episode? Because I had a really, what I think is a really great idea for a movie, and I wanted to pitch it to you guys real quick.
Yes.
Okay, you have to cut this. You cannot put this to air because
Liam, I got you.
genuinely I think I want to write this as a spec thing.
No, I got you.
Okay, but anyway, let's cut back into the episode here because I'll give you a sequel.
Okay.
I'll give you a sequel.
All right.
Do I need to pitch the whole thing?
No, just don't pitch the whole thing. Just tell me what the sequel would be.
Okay. If I had to pick any movie that doesn't have a sequel currently that I could make a sequel to, I'd pick a recent one. I would pick Malignant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I have other ones on deck that I could pick, but I think that's the one I would pick.
Okay. Austin.
I'm trying to think of a movie that has a definitive end because I want the sequel to be as boring as possible. Like I think I don't know what's a movie. What about or actually I'll do this. I want Good Will Hunting, except that fucking geez, what's his name? Who's the fucking actor from that movie?
Matt Damon.
Yeah, Matt Damon's character like fast forwards and he just relapses into being a huge piece of shit. Like that, but there's no
Button.
yeah, there's no you don't get a second like redemption arc from him. It's just
But
that he's moved on. Robin Williams' character is dead and he like can't see any good in the world anymore, and so he just is a fucking piece of shit again, and that's the movie.
He follows Skylar to fucking California, and he's like, this place fucking sucks. Just that's what fucking sets him off and starts kicking the shit out of people in the fucking California cities.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I would find a movie that has a definitive end where they tried to like wrap it up all nice, and it has no point to having a sequel, and make a sequel of that.
Wait, that gives me an even better idea than the one I suggested. How about a sequel to the amazing smash hit that we've all seen, You Don't Mess with the Zohan?
Nope.
Oh, come on. Why not, Cody?
Scratched.
I mean, it ends with them opening a business in a mall. I mean, and think about how far the politics have moved since that movie came out. I mean, there's so much you could talk about, so much you could explore. He'd be a small business owner, too. Can you imagine Zohan existing in a Trump economy? Tell me it's not ripe for stories. You can't.
No, but in this iteration, it's like mandated that the story isn't a comedy anymore. It's like,
No, it's 100% serious.
yeah,
Drama.
when they do like reboots of stuff and they make it more serious, like this is the Zohan, but in this instance, like he now has PTSD that he hasn't dealt with and feels like he's not doing enough in the world at his his mall, but the mall's obviously failing because it's 2024. Nobody goes to it anymore. So there's like a whole bunch for him to be downtrodden on his luck with, and he's like seriously considering rejoining the fight in Israel or something. Like,
this is what I mean. Like, there's actually you could absolutely do a real sequel to that, because the happiness at the end of that film does not last.
He works across the way from the main character from Uncut Gems.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is Uncut Gems would be another sequel movie that you could make. That would be very funny, because you could just focus on the old guy at the end, who reminds me of my friend's dad.
Hell yeah, my dad.
No, not your dad.
Oh.
and then we could have a scene where Zohan tries to do the roof hopping like he did in the first movie, and then he breaks his ankle or something, and then like he throws
Like
in
Tom Cruise.
a quippy one-liner about how he's not as young as he used to be, and then have like a spry sidekick that
I'm not as young as I used to be.
and then have the Jewish mother make a reprisal of her role, but she's like much older, so it's not as big of a thrill for him anymore.
Like his mother, or you mean
No, that random woman, the mother that he was fucking in the apartment.
Oh, yes. His friend's mom, yeah.
Adam's favorite part.
Well, Adam loved most of that movie, if that's the case. Every scene at the salon, I hear.
All right, you guys ready? First question.
For what?
We're doing
I thought you said it was only one question.
no.
It's multiple questions.
Yeah, no, I expected the multiple
All right.
questions.
That's how an interview goes, Liam.
So here's what I'm going to ask. Are we going to do this where we each answer each question one after the other? Or is it you're going to read all the questions, one of us will answer, and then one of us will answer the questions after?
I will ask the question, and I'll alternate who goes first, right? So I'll ask a question, Austin will answer, then you will answer that same question, and then that next question, you will go first, and then Austin will go first.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll keep a tally of who has the best response for each of them, and then by the end of the question, I will promote whoever it may be to the executive producer role.
What type of media do we already make here? Because I feel like I got to know my audience. you know?
Podcasts.
If I were to go in for a position like this, I would do research on the person who was interviewing me, so I would know the kind of thing they like to hear.
I wouldn't care. I would just go.
Podcasts, TV shows.
That's why you'll never work in show business, Austin. You won't fucking make it in this town.
I hope not.
All right, Kody. All right, yes, Mr. President, sir. I'm
Yes.
ready.
Liam, if you were given an elephant, you can't sell it, and you can't give it away. What do you do with it?
I can't sell it and I can't give it away.
Yep. What do you do with it?
Define giving it away real quick.
It is permanently in your possession.
Well, I take care of it, obviously. Is it a baby elephant or is it an old elephant?
Full-grown elephant.
Well, I do my best to take care of it, but frankly, an elephant is kind of an agent of chaos. So I'd have to move to an environment that would be more easy to facilitate the elephant existing. And obviously, I couldn't, like you said, I can't give it away, so I can't have it like exist in a zoo. Even if I technically own it, I'm assuming you would count that as giving it away if I had it like sheltered at a zoo or a sanctuary of some kind.
I would say kind of like horse boarding. You must go like once or twice a day
Once or twice a day.
if you were to board it in a facility.
Okay, yeah. Well, you know what? If that's the case, I would move to Providence, Rhode Island. I would board it at the Roger Williams Park Zoo, and I would exist in a happy life in Rhode Island with a pet elephant.
Okay.
It was all my own, and I'd get to hang out with my elephant all the time. However, if that's not an option, I would be moving to the safari to hang out with my elephant and be one of those personal poacher guardsmen. I would be counter-sniping anyone who attempted to kill or poach the elephants for their ivory.
What's your elephant's name?
What's my elephant's name?
Yeah.
Hephaestus.
Hephaestus.
Correct.
Thank you, Liam. Austin.
So my answer is actually very similar to Liam's, but I would also go to probably Africa was my first thought, but realistically any like war-torn third world country, and I would utilize it as a war elephant. And I would garner a following through that. So like that would be what we would be known for, is like that's the mascot. And that's where the command tower comes from, is like from the elephant.
Why am I not surprised that you want to be a white warlord in a non-white country?
Hell yeah, brother, because we just excel at that. I can pull that off. And I'm going to get big hearing protection for the elephant, like comically big Peltors that he can wear. So it's just like Dumbo-sized Peltor hearing protection. and then we'll just like go around and I'll have a whole bunch of different armaments up there. I'll have a whole bunch of radio like equipment, and that'll be the war elephant, brother. Like he's armored, ready to go. We'll win every fucking fight. Like people will see an elephant, they won't know what the fuck to do. People see an armored vehicle, they go, oh yeah, I should probably kill that, right? And you see an elephant, you're like, oh damn, that's kind of cool. It's weird that it's in the middle of a fight though. And then suddenly you get shot by somebody riding it because you weren't looking at the guy on top. You were looking at the trunk coming around. And actually, he'll probably like carry a claymore mine in his trunk, and he can just like put it right up to somebody.
Aim it at you.
Just like put it right on somebody, and then I'll detonate it. So yeah, I'm gonna name him. I'll name him Wakanda.
Because you have him forever.
I was. I can't even keep a straight face. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Oh man, this is great. Okay, Austin, you're back up to the plate, buddy. Are you ready?
I am.
How would you convince someone to move to the moon with you?
So basically, I would tell them that I don't remember what the name of the film is, but there's a film where the Nazis successfully moved to the
Iron
moon
Skies.
On the dark. What is it?
Iron Skies.
Yeah. So I would basically, whether it was true or not, I would tell them that on the dark side of the moon, there's a secret Nazi moon base, like in Iron Skies. And we would have to go up there and eradicate that from the dark side of the moon. So, I mean, the goal is just to get them up there. So realistically, it doesn't matter if anything is up there. And then by the time I get up there with them, we'll just have a whole bunch of guns that we can shoot on the moon, which I imagine would be a cool experience. I mean, the backstop would probably be a huge issue because if you launch a round off into space, like I don't even want to think about what the repercussions would be. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Thank you. Liam, how would you convince someone to move to the moon with you?
Who is the someone?
Marcus on the street corner.
So just a random guy.
Yep.
See, that's why I went for something that people universally hate that you can rally behind. So that way, it didn't matter who it was for me.
First of all, I would do my due diligence. I would start a 2-week detail following Marcus and figuring out where he goes, what he likes, what does he eat, who does he hang out with, what does he do for work, what is his monthly income. After I discover these things, I would start a very short but targeted campaign of advertising towards Marcus on social media. Now, what that would involve would probably be, you know, those like clips for mobile games where the gameplay you see is nothing like the actual game.
No, it's real. I saw Anthony Starr promoting it, saying that it's real, so it's real.
No, I'm sure you did, and he did. So I would probably get Anthony Starr or somebody more relevant. You know, I mean, he's kind of passe at this point. So I would get somebody really hot. Who's hot right now? Maybe I get Sabrina Carpenter to do a clip of how fun it is to be on the moon in this game, right? And the game would be about working, whatever Marcus's dream job is. It would be like a job simulator on the moon doing Marcus's dream job. Maybe he wants to be a record producer, Moon Records, you know, or whatever. I'd figure it out. I'd hire a couple Chinese children to make the game for me. And then when it gets, you know, put on the market, Marcus would really be the only one who needs to play it. Once he's gotten the idea in his head that it would be fun to do his dream job on the moon, okay, that's when we really kick it in a high gear. We go phase 2, okay? We're talking dozens of Craigslist posts of housing on the moon, marketing, new condos, wonderful, beautiful, okay? And they're cheap. They're subsidized too, but only if you work in a certain industry. What's that industry? Marcus's favorite industry, whatever that may be, all right? We got a special offer. If you get a job with this company, which happens to be in his favorite line of work, you get half off housing in the free or in the new moon condos, right? You with me? So at this point, Marcus is probably chomping at the bit to get some kind of real estate on the moon. And we're talking rental, of course. I would never sell him anything on the moon. He couldn't afford it. But what I mean to say is that he would be really, really, really looking to move to the moon. And at that point, I reach out. I say, hey, I'm a recruiter, okay? I'm a recruiter for Lunar Biscuit Records or whatever. They're always named something stupid. And we have a job opening for an entry-level, record analyst. Just make up some shit. It doesn't have to be anything. Just make it sound professional. do the interview. That takes maybe a week or so. Get him convinced that he's really got to move to the moon. He's got the job. He's going to learn the skills he wants. Then I book him a flight on, SpaceX or whatever the hell's going on, whatever the best commercial flight is. And I say, it's going to make a stop at the moon. You'll just get off with your stuff. Now, of course, this will be all a trick because I myself will never move to the moon.
Well, you have
Not
to.
in a million years. No, I just have to convince him to move to the moon with me. So if I am under the guise of being the recruiter, I can say, hey, I'll meet you up there. We'll be training you after 1 week. You're going to get 1 week to acclimate to the moon's gravity, to the culture there, to the restaurants, and the other people who work at the company. Now, me, I would never move to the moon. The food there sucks. The people are shit, and I hate all of them. And I couldn't afford to live there even if I wanted to. That's the truth. Unless Marcus was paying me, but at that point, all the other things that I said disqualify me from wanting to move there even if it was free. Even if you fucking paid me. But Marcus would sure as shit live there.
Thank you, Liam.
You're welcome.
All right, I'm going to take a quick break.
I don't think I've ever seen an interviewer leave in the middle of an interview.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. This is pretty unprofessional. It sets a bad example of what working in this environment would be like.
I'm really sorry.
You're the president, right?
Yeah, well, hey, watch what you say. I'll fire you.
Yeah, okay, that's a little better. It was a pretty meek response that you gave at first, and you exposed your weakness.
Connecticut has fucked up my
You're
stomach.
hiring sharks, Mr. President.
All right. Are you interviewees ready for your next question?
Always.
Yes.
Liam, you will be going first.
You don't have to tell me. I already remembered the order.
Yeah. If you could instantly become an expert in any random skill, what skill would that be?
Any skill.
Any random skill.
It's when you say random, what do you mean by that?
Anything.
Like I get to pick any skill.
Yes.
Okay, well the skill I would pick is becoming an expert in things.
All right. Thank you, Liam. Awesome.
If I'm an expert in learning, I have no end to my potential. That's all I have to say.
I like that answer, but I'm going to give a little bit more precise answer and say I would take the skill of flawless deduction. Like, you are never wrong. It's impossible. Like, you are able to see not only, like, basically it's a pseudo way of, like, seeing the past when you weren't there, right? Like, you're able to see exactly why something ended up that way. Like, and I know that's a skill that realistically doesn't exist, right? But you said any
Well, it's
skill.
not that it doesn't exist. It's like a bunch of different skills altogether. So like you have to the skill of like incredibly precise perception.
Mm-hmm.
No, mine is learning. The skill of learning. If I can instantly learn the best way to learn things and retain them quickly, that's one skill. Doesn't mean that I'm going to learn things. Doesn't mean that I'll actually use it because it's all about motivation. Let's be real. But no, with deduction, you watch all those detective shows, right? You get perception. Obviously intuition is part of it. You have to be willing to, read people. That's another thing of like interaction and reading emotions and people's actual reactions. So is there a particular area of that you feel you already excel?
Not really. But I think I'll go ahead and I'll just to quell you a little bit. I'll add a
Oh no! I'm fine with you picking that as your skill. I was just curious.
I'll add a negative to it. So the downside is that every time that I do this, I have to have like a Sherlock Holmes or a Death Note monologue that happens in real time. So like I don't. It's not like this happens all in 1 second and then the audience is privy to what's going on. No, I have to think about everything and play it back in my head over like 2 or 3 minute time span. And it's just me staring blankly. So someone could ask me a question and be like, okay, well, how do you think this happened? And I'd just be like,
just fucking the 1,000 yards
for like 6 minutes. And then I'll go, okay, I'll tell you exactly how this happened.
Wait. Can I tweak it a little bit and then I'll add a negative to mine?
Yeah.
Okay. So instead of being silent when you're doing it, you have to mumble it like really softly. Like they're like, "What is it? What do you see?" And you're like, "Well, I see the balls on the ground, and I see that they had this, and
but quieter.
There's mud on the shoe, and the shoe is and you have to get through the entire thing before you can say any of it at a regular volume or acknowledge that you even said anything.
And like you're like crouched up in a fetal position, like.
Yes.
And then I saw it, and then he pulled out a gun, and then after that, and then he ran over to the. And then after that, he ran over to the, and then he jumped off the. Yeah, like the whole thing, just like a child.
and then I saw him, and then he did.
What's your negative, Liam?
The negative that I'll add to mine is okay. Well, it could be one of two. Either when I complete learning a thing, I immediately shit my pants, or my head gets just like a tiny bit bigger. Like whole head just gets a tiny bit bigger.
Now,
with each skill that I master.
Is it proportionate to how much you learned, or could it be something as inconsequential as like you learn how to fix the McDonald's McFlurry machine, and then that only expands like a little bit in relation to how much you learned?
Now, is it a full pair? Is it like a full pants load of shit?
It's whatever's in the contents of my stomach, which while I'm learning, I don't shit at all. So every time it's going to be like a decent amount of shit. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be loading those pants up with Dookie every time I master a skill.
Okay. Thank you.
So do you hurt yourself if you like don't shit though? Because if you like dry firing your intestines, like that's got to be bad for you, right? Like,
well, that's why I gotta eat. You know, I mean, it takes a lot of energy to master a skill. It's like anime characters; they gotta eat after they go all out.
yeah. Well, that's why L eats all those sweets because his brain's moving so fast, burning all them calories.
Exactly. You'll be eating candy while you go, and then they shot the gun, and then the blood spatter shows, and then the uncle was making weird noises, and he said in his face, and he lied about where he was.
And then, like, I would love to see that from the perspective of like the crusty old lieutenant detective that shows up on scene and like, we brought our expert, and it's just me like in the fetal position, rocking back and forth, like chanting to myself, and he's like, "This is your fucking expert," and then like they're arguing about it, and then while they're arguing is when I stand up and I'm like, "All right, so this is exactly how it happened," and he's like, "What the fuck? Like, how did you become this coherent?" And it's like and then that's when the anime background story, like when they foretell all the background information afterward, like
you're wearing a SpongeBob sweater and Crocs.
Awesome.
Yep.
What is the strangest thing you could add to your resume and still have it seem somewhat believable?
Does it have to be true?
No.
Wow, that's pretty tough. I think I would put that I am a master at tying knots. I don't know. I got nothing for you.
Okay. Thank you, Austin. Liam?
What? Why would you put that on a resume?
No, it's
I don't know. So
that's what he decided.
I literally went through like flipping through all my information in my head of like what I'm not good at and what I could lie about. And I had nothing. So I was like, all right, I can't tie any fucking knots. So I'm just going to, like, I can do a slip knot and a square knot, and that's about it. So I just tie a lot. And so I lied about it.
Okay, Liam.
Can you give me the question again, Kody? I forgot what the criteria is.
What's the strangest thing you could add to your resume and still have it seem somewhat believable?
I did an internship at the Monroe Institute.
What's the Monroe Institute?
It's the nation's foremost institute research institution that studies consciousness and out-of-body experiences and such.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
The government has consulted them multiple times and sent many people to train there. And it's vague enough where you can assume lots of things about what that means or what types of programs I may or may not have been involved with.
Beautiful. Liam, if you had to explain your job to a caveman, what would you say?
My current job?
Yes.
I'd explain my job to a caveman. Let me think about this for just a second here. What era caveman are we talking about?
Oonga boonga.
Okay. Well, I'd probably start with...
Dude, you can't come out the gate saying you're going to fuck his wife.
Yeah, you idiot.
Well, it's part of the job, you know what I mean? Look, I don't like it any more than you do, but it's part of what I do. You know, I can't really like just glaze over it. Just because he's a caveman doesn't mean he's stupid. Was that a good enough answer, Kody, or do you need me to extrapolate more?
That's great, Liam. Thank you.
You're
I appreciate your honesty about wanting to fuck his wife, because that is your job.
Well, look, I've never talked about my job on the show before, but yes, that is part of it. It's a big part of it.
Yeah. Austin?
Well, Due to the fact that I was infantry, they actually taught us in infantry school. It's part of the experience. You go to a language school inside of infantry school, and they teach you the caveman dialect, and this helps infantrymen communicate with each other. But the best way, contrary to popular belief, is not through grunts and noises, all right, because that's a little bit too complicated and it gives your position away. A lot of the times you utilize simple hand movements and like demonstrations. All right, that's why we play with sand tables and we make little maps and stuff, and then we utilize hand and arm signals to dictate what we're doing and stuff like that. So I wouldn't actually speak to him at all. Yeah, Sprockets. Yeah, the audience can't see, but Sprockets is actually a new hand and arm signal the Army is adopting to tell people, namely new privates, how to interact with strippers at the strip club. So you can
I was about to say, yes, it's how they communicate that you need to fondle breasts.
yeah, it works. But no, so I think I would just take my spear, and then I would shape it with other objects. Just hit it a couple of times, or fix the wrapping, and then as a sign of good faith, I would give it to him afterward, and then go find more ones to pick up and kind of mess with. And so we're a lot more of a visual communication than verbal.
Beautiful. I appreciate the answers from both of you on this one. I truly. Austin, if you had to pick one food item to bring to the team potluck, what would it be and
cheeseburger.
why? Okay, thank you. Liam?
You say cheeseburger?
Yep, that's my final answer.
It's a team potluck? When you say team, what do you mean team? Like
Well,
at the office?
Yeah, me, you, Adam, Austin.
Look, I feel like you're throwing me this softball because you know it's going to disqualify my competitor here. But if I were to bring anything to the team potluck, obviously I would bring a bowl of spinach dip.
I thought you were going to
Past history notwithstanding, my spinach dip is so good that it can bring out the animal in any man. And let me tell you, Mr. President, you won't want to miss it.
Thank you. Thank you. Liam, next year during your performance review, you have to sing a song. What will that song be?
Well, that depends. Am I going to know
Acapella.
prior to having to sing the song? No. Am I going to know prior to having to sing the song how I did performance-wise? Is it a situation where I'm aware?
Well, you should
Like,
be aware.
damn, I killed it, or
You should be aware of your standing, seeing how you are up for the position of executive producer. Come on.
okay, and I have to sing it a cappella?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I got two answers depending on how well I do. If it was a good year, I'm getting up there, I'm reciting the entirety of Wild Wild West by Will Smith. If it was a bad year, you're getting an a cappella version of Axel F by Crazy Frog.
Thank you. I'm actually quite fond of Wild Wild West. Austin.
I'm doing "Hit Me Baby One More Time" by Britney Spears, and I don't need to know my grade because I know I did fucking great. So
My man. My fucking man. Hold on one second. I'm so sorry. I lost. I know who won what ones, but I can't find.
I guess you don't need to learn basic arithmetic to become president at this company.
All right. Someone's not getting a fucking raise next year.
Well, that means I got hired, bitch. Thanks for the answer, boss.
well, I think we both already work here. We're interviewing to move up a peg.
This is true.
Well,
Austin is
yeah, I
correct.
mean, they normally wouldn't give you a raise within your first year of a big promotion like that anyway, probably. Let's be real. They're starting producers at this company at $45,000 a year, unless you complain, in which case they'll bump it up to $80,000. These fuckers are fickle.
All right, boys. I've asked you 6 questions. I need to ask you one more question.
Are we being held captive, or are you finding the question?
The final question is a test about who will speak first to end the silence, and you failed.
Oh, I thought that I would show initiative by ending the silence. No.
No, strength is in enduring it.
Is that your bank statement? You still get
Yeah.
it by paper?
They sent it to me unwillingly. I've tried to go
It's
paperless.
just-
You can uncheck a box
Yeah, it's just-
somewhere
I've tried.
to
I've
have
tried.
them
I've
not
tried.
do that.
I've tried.
Wait, is that
John
actually your bank statement?
John Deere sucks, dude.
I was making a joke. I didn't realize it was actually your bank statement.
It's your lawnmower payments.
Yeah, it is. It is my lawnmower payments.
Dude, John Deere's expensive.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's because you get the beer cup holder. Of course, it's expensive.
Yeah, you get the beer cup holder, but they put it on the side where all the fucking grass shavings come out of.
Mm.
Oh, really? On
Yeah.
my Craftsman, it's on the left side.
Wow,
And
must be
it
nice.
ejects on the right.
Oh,
Well, so
really?
currently the Craftsman does not run, so that's not true.
All right.
It isn't nice.
Is it because you spilled your beer into the engine?
Yes.
I actually, I had too much beer because it was too convenient, and I accidentally filled the gas tank with beer, and so that's why it doesn't run anymore.
Just drink what's in the gas tank. It'll be fine. Clear it out of there.
I don't remember who I asked last. Was it Austin? I believe it was. Austin, for the final question, if you had to give up one of your senses to gain a superhuman ability, what would you give up, and what would your ability be?
I think even though it would be an extreme loss, there has been plenty of human being who have gotten by without their sense of smell. So I would give that up. And so we're putting it into a superhuman ability, like we're
No, you
just
give
in
it up
one of
to
the senses.
Get a power, like a superpower. What would your
Oh, any
superpower be?
superpower.
Yep.
I think my superpower would be basically to have a bio version of the Crisis suit. So you know how in Crisis you can like either up armor yourself or invisible yourself. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
So you're getting two superpowers for forsaking your smell. Is what you're saying. You could turn invisible and also you're impervious to bullets.
I mean, you said you would learn everything on Earth, so if we're going that route.
I didn't say that. I said that I would have the ability to learn things very quickly. I would master the ability of mastering abilities.
Yeah, Yeah. So why is it so bad for me to say I'm gonna convert a mechanical thing into a bio thing? And actually,
Because this is more of a devil's deal type situation, and the trade has to be equitable, so it's 1 for 1, right?
yeah, I don't get to smell anything anymore. I don't get to smell succulent desserts. I don't get to smell.
You don't get to taste either.
I don't get to
Like
smell
food.
burnt powder on
Taste
the
is
gun
different than
range. I don't get to smell that amazing magnesium after
Smell
you
is the
detonate
majority of taste.
charges. I don't.
Just smell in this
Okay.
in this sense, Liam.
Right. Yeah.
Well, but you would still lose the majority, the overwhelming majority
Let's
of your
say
taste would go with the
In
smell.
instance, it's literally just smell.
But,
Taste
but
stays
they're,
the same.
they're totally connected, Cody. That's not.
But I'm also
the-
talking about making a bio suit of something that doesn't
Yeah,
exist. So
you're,
if
you're
we're-
trying to make his drawback better while he has.
No,
taken
I'm
two
just- I'm-
superpowers. In this instance, smell does not affect taste at all, and you get two superpowers.
I'm getting one superpower.
I don't object to the superpower. I understand it, but also that means that you have to. I would assume you would have to also power that source somehow, because don't
By
you have
eating.
like power, like pickups, like battery pickups for the suit in the game?
I don't remember exactly how it works. It's been a really long time, but I would say it would just be it would severely drain like just your
physical
yeah,
energy.
exactly. So
Yeah.
you just have to eat a lot, or you would end up having to work out a whole lot more to maintain that sort of stamina to be able to utilize those things. And of course, you could do both at the same time if you wanted to, but it would double the output of whatever you were trying to do. So I would become the greatest soldier of all time by having that ability.
Wow, if I had to give up a sense to have any power,
The look on your face makes it seem like you're putting up an act, but upon waiting to hear your answer, you don't know yet.
no, because there's a couple different powers I want to have.
Let's
I know
start
what
with
I would
this-
give up easily.
Let's start with the sense then.
I would give up my sight.
I knew you were gonna say that. I
I would give up my sight. How did you know I was going to say that, Austin?
because it just seemed like the most one of the most detrimental senses, and I knew you'd have a unique, clever reasoning for it. So I'm excited to hear what.
I would just argue it would probably be the easiest one to live without. I think smell it's inextricable from taste. I'm sorry, Cody. You can say it up and down all you want, but the fact of the matter is that most of what you taste comes from your smell. That's why when you had COVID, you couldn't taste anything. I couldn't get rid of smell. I wouldn't want to get rid of taste because I love food and the ability to taste things. Music and the sounds are so wonderful. I could never live without hearing things, I don't think. I think it'd be very hard to do that. I just think sight could go. Because you can't say touch. Oh my god, if you couldn't feel anything, you'd want to fucking die.
Well, that was my thought process on that. Like, losing tactile sensibility is just fucking awful.
I think sight's the least essential for me. I mean, I don't want to lose my sight, but if I'm getting a power, what I would probably want is one of two things. I'd want to be able to heal anything or anyone, obviously including myself, but like, other people. I think that'd be really nice.
Oh, that would be cool.
Just to be able to help others in that way. And people got some terminal disease. There's no cure for it. Well, guess what? Now I can just walk up to him and go,
dude, you're the guy from the Green
I can have
Mile.
somebody. Exactly. Except I'm blind, not, big and different in that way. I would be like that. You could just walk me to a hospital and I could just touch every person and they'd immediately be healed. Or whatever I would have to do. Or my other option for an ability would be to be able to... See, I'm kind of split. Either teleport or manipulate time. But I feel like manipulating time is too tricky and complex of a power, But I'd probably say that, manipulate time, because then I could know what it's like to exist in different time periods. But yeah, I give up my sight. Let's say I give up my sight and gain the ability to heal anyone or anything.
You know how awesome that would be if you were having a historical argument and then someone was like, no, they used to do it like this back in the day. And you were like, wait, one. And then you like rewind time and you go back and you're like, hey, so can you walk me through how to do this daily task? And then they're like, yeah, sure, you do this. And you go back and you're like, wrong. You're fucking wrong.
They plunged the butter.
I literally just did
it.
I just did it. 400 years ago, I just did it.
Well, also going back with a fucking like smartphone and just taking a picture of some old fucking codgerly British guy. I just met him.
I like to think that they have no reservation about it either. They just accept it. They're just like churning butter and they go, and then you take the photo and then you go back.
Yes.
So you're saying get rid of sight and be able to move through time.
Sure. Yeah. Yes.
I like the healing one. The healing one's super cool.
Yeah.
I actually.
So I think I think it's healing, not moving through time. I think it's healing. I think healing is what I would rather do, because moving through time, I do feel like you lose a bit of that if you get rid of the sight. You can't see, like historic events or anything, so you kind of lose a lot of the appeal of that. But I think healing applies to anybody and everybody, and it would be nice to do good in the world.
And is there any stipulation?
Sorry to be corny,
to
but that's the truth.
Is there any stipulation? Like, does it take more time to heal more severe wounds? And I imagine you can't bring people back from the dead, right? Like they would have to be.
No, I can't raise people who are dead, but if they're on the brink of death, I could bring them back from it.
That'd be so sick.
But I don't know about like timeliness. I think it would just be same across the board. Like touch them and they get better.
Yeah. Okay.
It's literally
or like say something to them and they get better. I don't know how it works.
It's literally like being a medic in an airsoft game. You just go around, you go
wait,
and tap them on the head.
What if I could heal? What if I could heal anybody? But to do it, I would have to come up with a freestyle rap on the spot for them.
That's really funny.
Okay,
right.
That's my choice. I'm blind. But I can heal anybody by freestyle rapping at them, whether they can hear me or not.
Does it have to be a good rap? Like, do they have to be like, damn?
No.
No,
in fact, it's worse. It won't work if it's a good rap, so I can't do good.
All right, boys. Are you ready for the results?
Yep.
With 4 points, Liam. With 3 points, Austin. Liam.
Yo, what was the deciding one?
That last one was the deciding one.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that.
I also, halfway through that question, I was like, it'd be really funny is if you decided to get rid of hearing and then you decided to be like a superhero and you just wouldn't be able to hear anyone's screams in the city. just like flying around, not knowing
really
what the
boring
fuck to
job.
do. They're like, help me! And you're just like, la 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 la.
Yeah, how awesome would that be if you decided to be deaf and then your super ability was to have like supersonic hearing, but you couldn't hear any of it? Yeah. So you're just a normal guy. Yeah.
Just a dude. That's so funny. But yeah, no, those are the...
I have X-ray vision, but I gave up my sight for it.
You just see things in your brain. You just can't perceive it. You just see images of just like bones and shit.
Yeah, I'm cockeyed. My eyeballs face into my own head.
All right. Liam, you've been promoted. Congratulations. What's your first thing you're going to do?
The first thing I'm going to do?
Yeah.
Well, we own Star Wars, right?
Yes.
He's going to burn it all to the ground.
You're wrong. I'm going to revitalize this dying brand, all right?
Thank you.
Liberals have taken it and destroyed it with their culture agenda. I'm bringing it back, all right? Number 1, we get the Jar Jar trilogy, okay?
Beautiful.
We're going to explore his origins.
Yes.
We're going to explore his adventures
Perfect.
before he met Anakin and all of
Perfect.
them, all right? We're going to finally bring the dog that George Lucas had, that he wanted him to have, the Jar Jar to have. That's going to be part of it. Cartoon dog. It'll be funny. It'll be a nice, comedy relief. Comic relief for Jar Jar's serious adventures in the prequel, because obviously we're going to be approaching this with a strong nostalgia bent. This is 25 years later. We got to make sure that people feel nostalgia. We're going to play the Star Wars theme slow and in a minor key so that it's uplifting, it's emotional. We finally see Jar Jar again. And then in the third one, we're going to reveal that actually Jar Jar is destined to become the greatest villain that the galaxy's ever known.
Perfect. Way to round it all out, Liam. I thank you for your dedicated work and your motivation to improve the legacy that is Star Wars.
You're welcome. I also think we should make a 6-picture deal with Kevin Spacey. I hear he's back now.
Like from prison or like from...
No,
he never went to prison. He was acquitted of all charges.
Oh, he got acquitted? I didn't know that shit.
I think they were dropped. I don't think he got acquitted. But either way... he's back now, so let's bring him in. He was a big star. I'm sure people still will enjoy him. It's been long enough. We can have Louis C.K. write the movies. I hear he's back too. You can't keep a man down in this new America, let me tell you that.
No, he was up, if you know what I mean.
He's probably breaking into the precinct evidence locker to get all of the fucking lube that they confiscated from fucking P. Diddy.
Jesus.
Well, I don't think P. Diddy's ever getting out, unfortunately. Yeah. He's in there probably for life. Let's be real. I still haven't looked into that. I don't know what a freak off is, and I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Did you guys like this competition? Did you have fun? Did you learn a little bit more about yourselves? Did you learn a little bit about each other? Because I feel like I learned a little bit about each other.
What'd you learn about each other?
I fucked that word up, but I learned that I can't speak.
You just learned that?
Yeah. 29 years.
What I learned is that this company is run by someone who can't do basic arithmetic, doesn't have very good interview skills, and didn't come prepared to do the math to figure out who would win this. Now that I'm an executive producer, I know all of the higher-ups. I know exactly what I got to do to get you out of here.
No, you can't fire the president.
I'm sorry, but there's an email that has already been sent to HR. We know what you've been doing in the bathroom, Mr. President.
You just have to wait 4 years. You just have to wait 4 years.
Sure, yeah. No, you don't have executive privilege.
I do.
You as what I heard from HR from down the line is that you had a sort of Chuck Berry situation going on. Cameras and toilets. Is that right, Kody?
I don't know what that is. Like, genuinely.
You know who Chuck Berry is?
No.
Rock and roll king Chuck Berry, Johnny Be Good.
I know Chuck and Berry, but that's
Chuck,
just the guy
it's your cousin, Marvin Berry. I hear you should put cameras in the toilets at truck stop bathrooms.
Wait,
you should film a sex tape where you fart.
What?
Yeah, no, I don't know that, homie. I'm sorry, buddy.
You should get cultured. Look, Mr. President, I think you need to be cultured. If you want to be president, you got to know all the latest trends. You got to watch the Chuck Berry sex tape. You got to be able to quote the Chuck Berry sex tape. I bet if I asked you what Hulk Hogan says after he fucks that guy's wife in that sex tape, you wouldn't even be able to tell me.
You're right, I wouldn't.
Really? My God, Kody. How about I ate like a fucking pig?
What the fuck?
What? And when is the sex tape from, like 2006?
I think like 2011 or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Wait, so he wasn't even relevant then? So he's putting
it's actually a pretty big thing. It's isn't it what sent Gawker under? Because they released the fucking sex tape and then they got sued to oblivion.
I don't know.
Gawker?
I'm just saying.
It was a big story. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know any of this shit.
Way back when. I'm surprised you guys have never seen the video.
Nope.
Of him going I ate like a fucking pig.
What the fuck?
No, the last time I saw any of the Hogans was in that fucking sitcom that they had. Not sitcom, but that fucking whatever the fuck that TV show is called with the Hogans as a family. And that was from like 2003.
Oh, really? I thought that you saw him speak at Trump's last rally when you went.
Oh, was he there?
Yeah, he was one of the keynote speakers.
I must have fallen asleep at that point.
Yeah, that's all right. I get it. Yeah, the Hulk Hogan sex tape. IMDb tells me that the Hulk Hogan sex tape was from 2012. Okay, the camera's not picking up my phone screen, but
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I can't believe IMDb has a record of that.
Yeah, it's got an 8.3 out of 10. Pretty good.
All right.
He's credited as self.
Jesus Christ. All right. On that note, I think we should wrap it up. Ha! Get it?
I don't get it. I'll be honest. And also, I still don't feel like you said anything about what you learned about us. I need some real details here, Kody.
Liam, I learned.
Was this an exercise in futility?
A futility? How do you mean?
Is it futile to try to get to know each other?
No, not at all.
You know, I learned superficial truths about what Austin might do in outlandish situations. By the way, did you write these questions?
No, I did not.
Where'd you find these questions?
Various websites on the internet.
So what'd you Google to find the questions?
Funny interview questions.
Cody.
What?
I doubt anyone's given any of my answers before.
That honestly, some of those I think they're probably true. I don't think many men would be bold enough to say I'd like to be a white warlord in Africa.
There's a whole book about me. It's called fucking Heart of Darkness.
Jesus.
Yes. All right, but we have to film you when you're super fat and in a very dark room. We'll hide you in the shadow.
Yeah,
Don't
and
worry about it.
I'm the greatest soldier of all time, but I don't actually exemplify any of those qualities, and I don't actually move. I have a collection of Life magazine that I throw at Martin Sheen and tell him to read more because he's an idiot.
Well, Cody,
Well,
next,
what?
I liked this exercise. I think it was fun. But next time, I want you to write questions. I
Oh,
want
of
you to
course.
make up your own
like
questions.
like I said, I didn't have enough time. I was busy in Connecticut, and I was so mad that I just didn't have the time. I apologize. I've apologized before, and again, I will apologize. I haven't been myself. I feel like I haven't spoken about myself enough, and I wanted to, get to know you guys a little bit better by asking you these questions. So maybe next time we can learn a little bit more about me. And I apologize. I'm sorry.
I accept your apology, Cody, but I hope you know I can't undo the email I already sent to HR. So next time we come around, you'll have been fired, but don't worry, I'll rehire you in a junior executive position.
Liam,
and then
you know
you'll
how
be
I got
interviewing for the
you
position.
know how I got up to this position. I fucking sucked.
That's true, but it only gets you so far.
You're next.
Here's the thing, Cody, my dad, Stanley Bezos,
All right.
Jeff's cousin, and he's twice as fucking rich.
Yeah.
I work here for fun. I could have Mossad plant cameras in all the toilets in this place. You would never be able to get around that.
Dude, and then they would explode.
They would, and then you'd be liable because you're the one that planted them. All right, well, I got some exciting ideas for next time, Cody, but this was fun. I'm glad. I'm excited to start my new position, and we're going to have some good movies.
Yeah, I told you last week when we were talking about this, I have a lot of ideas too. And this was a solid backup of ideas. So, I got many more things in store for the podcast, and I hope you guys will join me for the next few of them.
We will. And if anyone has any comments or thoughts about how this interview went or Cody's questions, or if you'd like to write in with some interview questions for Cody, because God knows he likes to get them from other people, you can email those questions to Cody's real email at gmail.com. And also, I would like to just mention this quickly at the end. If you are in Australia and listening to this, please do send us an email because I gotta know. Whatever we can do to get more people there listening, we'll do it. You just say the word. Let us know what Australian people like, and we will tailor our content to your desires.
Yes, exactly. I will go out of my way to make your day far superior.
I will never change.
All right, Boy Scout. All right, bye.
Bye, boys.
Bye.
You've been listening to Learner's Permit. Thanks for listening. We hope you learned something today. Until next time, goodbye.